So उन्होंने जफ्फी भी पाई, you know, and तनु क्या भी तू मेरे पुत वर्गा ते नाल दे नाल उन्होंने तनु टिप भी दी.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. No, and you know what? My issue was not even with the uncle. Uncle, and you know what, too? Uncle Ziga, one manu kya, you know, whatever happened, happened. Right? Let's just forgive and forget.
केवड़ी तू मैं हो जाती है, right?
Exactly. You know what?
नाले पार्टियां ते जिथे एक दी, you know, घुट भी लाया हुंदा, पैग शेग लगा, पता भी थोड़ा जिहा खड़का दड़का ता हुंदा.
Exactly. Right.
ਜਦੋਂ ਫਿਰ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਰਿੱਕੀ ਫਿਰ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ?
Well, police takes my statement, or a statement, right? And in the moment, obviously, he's like, "What do you want to do?" I told him, "What can we do?" The cops basically the cop literally told me, he's like, we can go press charges, but the reality is that they're not gonna do nothing about it. You know my video, but right? That video it's true. It doesn't just happen here. It just happens everywhere. It's not just for me. Like I've had more instances like that in the past. You know, like this year alone, and other DJs have had issues like that too.
What's the follow-up been with them? Have they been in touch? You know, were you in touch with them? What's that situation?
I tried being in touch with them, but they haven't gone back to me. That's just the reality. So
wow, they haven't reached out to you at all?
Nope.
Sanjha TV ਵੇਖਦੇ ਵਿਊਅਰਸ ਦਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਖਾਸ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਵਿੱਚ। ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੁਖੀ। ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਆ ਵੈਡਿੰਗ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਇੱਕ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਆ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤਜਰਬਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਆ, ਕਲਾ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਆ, ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਲੈ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਭਾਗ ਲੈ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਖੇਤਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਉਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਾਈਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਸਮਰ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਿਜ਼ੀ ਵਕਤ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਬਟ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵਾਇਲੈਂਸ ਆ ਇਸ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਹੱਦ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਈ ਆ। ਪਿਛਲੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਇੰਸਟਾਗ੍ਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਇਰਲ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਵੇਖੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਆ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਜੋ ਕਿ ਡੀਜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਕਸਰ ਰੇਡੀਓਜ਼ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਆ ਡੀਜੇ ਦੇ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਪਾਰਟੀਜ਼ 'ਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਅਤੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਗਾਣੇ ਵਜਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ, ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਹਾਦਸਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਆ ਵੈਰੀ ਡਿਸਟਰਬਿੰਗ ਇਨ ਦੀ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼। ਐਂਡ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਅਤੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਵਾਇਰਲ ਹੋਇਆ, ਅਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਮੈਂਟਸ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਏ ਆ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਹੋਇਆ, ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਸ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਗ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ, ਜੇ ਵੈਡਿੰਗ ਪਲਾਨਰਸ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਡੈਕੋਰੇਟਰਸ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੋਰ ਖੇਤਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਭਾਗ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ ਆ। ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਚਾਹੂੰਗੇ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਰਾਤ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਇਆ ਕੀ ਆ। ਹੀ ਵਾਜ਼ ਫਿਜ਼ੀਕਲੀ ਅਸਲਟਡ ਐਂਡ ਯੂ ਨੋ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਕੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਆ, ਇਹ ਸੇਫ ਫੀਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ, ਅਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਆ ਕਿਉਂ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਬਦਲ ਰਹੀ ਆ। ਸੋ ਬਾਲੀ ਦੇਰ ਨਾਲ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਆਓ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰੀਏ DJ Rush, also known as Ricky. So Ricky, welcome to the show and thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me, Sukhi.
Ricky, ਇਹ ਹਾਦਸਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦਿਸ ਇਨਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਦੈਟ ਹੈਪਨਡ ਸੈਪਟੈਂਬਰ 10 ਨੂੰ ਹੋਇਆ। ਸੋ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਦੱਸੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਿਚਮੰਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੀਗੇ, ਇੱਕ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡੀਜੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਵੈਡਿੰਗ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਸੀ, ਰਿਸੈਪਸ਼ਨ ਸੀ, ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਸ ਦਿਨ?
So ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ, I'll say it in English because like my Punjabi is bad.
No problem, yeah.
But basically the moral of the story is that this uncle was getting aggressive and he was like, just started talking a lot of smack at one point, like and at one point it just got to a point where I had to turn the music lower, and I was very kind. I was like, uncle, if you want to DJ, you're more than welcome to DJ, because you know like I'm not here to start no drama. I'm not here to, but that's basically moral story, right? What ended up happening right after was, you know, like he got aggressive, and then at one point, an hour later, that uncle came back to me and he's like, hey, could you play a song of mine? And I played a song. I played whatever music he wanted. And he came back and he's like, hey, you're killing it. You're doing an amazing job. Like, whatever. Yeah, he said that. He's like, you're doing an amazing job.
So first he was upset, then he came back and he said, hey, you're killing it. You're doing great.
Yeah, like me and him had some complications before. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, there was a situation where, like we did have complications because he was getting very aggressive, right? And obviously I did what I had to do, right? But anyways, he came back to me a little bit later and he's like, hey, you're killing it. He's like, I love you, put tu mere right? He's like, you're doing an amazing job. Everyone's having a good time. He's like, he's like, gave me the biggest hug. Like, he gave me such a big hug, and he gave me a kiss on the cheek, and he's like, "You're just like my son. Here you go. This is $50. You're killing it, right?"
Wow. So
Yeah.
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜੱਫੀ ਵੀ ਪਾਈ you know and ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਮੇਰੇ ਪੁੱਤ ਵਰਗਾ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਟਿਪ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤੀ
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. No, and you know what? My issue was not even with the uncle. Uncle, and you know what, too? Uncle Ziga, one manu kya, you know, whatever happened, happened. Right? Let's just forgive and
ਕਿ
forget.
ਬੜੀ ਤੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ right
Exactly. You know what?
ਨਾਲੇ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੀ you know ਘੁੱਟ ਵੀ ਲਾਇਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪੈਗ ਸ਼ੈਗ ਲੱਗਾ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਖੜਕਾ ਦੜਕਾ ਤਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ
Exactly. Right. So ਜਦੋਂ uncle ਆਇਆ ਸੀ and he ਉਹਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਉਹ ਗੱਲ my uncle looked at him like, "Uncle, that's totally okay." Like, I was like, "Dude, that's fine. Like, you know, whatever. Like, let's forgive and forget."
So ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਪਾਤੀ ਗੱਲ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਚੱਲ ਠੀਕ
I just said whatever. Things happen. Life happens, right? Like, it's not that big of a deal. And I love uncles like that. You know, like people that like know they messed up, but they forgive you. That's okay. Everyone it's the industry. That's just how it runs, right? Yeah. So what ended up happening after like that incident was like a couple of family members came back. I don't know who they were, and they were like, "Oh, this uncle was really upset with you because he didn't play his music, this, that." And I was like, and I was trying to explain because I guess they only knew one side of the story. I don't really know like what was happening on the other end, but like when I was trying to speak, and this happened at like I'll say after 1 a.m. when everybody cleared the room, right?
Okay.
Like when I was
so ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਉੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਿਰਫ ਇਹ 6 ਜਣੇ ਆਏ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ
yeah
okay
6 people these guys came back and they're yelling at me and I just think they were intoxicated, that's maybe why but they were yelling at me, they were doing all and they wouldn't let me explain my situation. They're like, "Our dad was upset because you did this and this," and I'm like, that makes no sense, right? Like in the back of my head I'm like, wait, this uncle just like
Like, we kissed and made up.
I know, and he's like, this uncle straight up like, "You're like my son."
Yeah.
So, anyways, what like?
So like, you're confused at this point.
I'm very confused, but like I'm just like, they wouldn't let me talk. That was the main intent of this, is that they weren't letting me.
So there was no conversation being had.
Yeah, like they just wanted to see like they were right and like I'm or whatever, right? They wanted to take. So they told me that they want $200 from me. Right, and they're like, and the $50 tip that the uncle gave me, if I don't give that money, then they're gonna attack me. That's
okay.
like
So
like they didn't say it like that, but like you could tell like that was kind of the intent, right? And like
so it's like, give us the $200 plus the 50 he gave you, or else.
Yeah, or else, right? And and it was in that situation that I was put in, I was like alone. Imagine one person or with 6 people, and
so at this point, how are you feeling?
At this point, I'm just like, what do I do? Because
no one wants to hear you.
No one wants to hear me. I could be dead at this point. I will say that like straight up, like. I like they could do whatever, and I'm the only guy in there. Nobody was there. Everybody in that banquet hall was just looking like what's going on. Like, nobody's calling the police, right?
And what banquet hall was this?
This was Riverside Grand Ballroom.
Okay, and was there any security present at the time?
Security was present, but they didn't do much.
Okay,
that's the reality.
So
I won't say it straight up. Like
okay,
they
they didn't try to come and break up the commotion.
No, like they did a little bit. Like like security tried breaking up. It was one security guard, and like it's again,
so the same thing. It's 1 versus 6.
It's 1 versus 6. It's the exact same situation, right? So right after that, like these guys, like after like the whole like whatever conversation, and I gave them the money just to let them
you
go.
did? Okay.
I didn't know what to do. I was alone. I've been teaching for 10 years, and I've never been put.
ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਤਾਂ ਨਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ 10 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਚ.
Yeah, ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਹੋਇਆ, right? ਪੈਸੇ ਦਿੱਤੇ, right? Thinking that they're gonna go, they kept talking. They're like, "No, you gotta apologize," and obviously I did. All they do, like,
so ਪੈਸੇ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਨਾਲੇ apology ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ.
Yeah.
So you apologize for something you don't know as to what you did.
Well, no, I just said, yeah, exactly, right? But then at one point, like I was just quiet. I'm just trying to be neutral. I'm not even trying to start a conversation. I'm just like gonna be quiet.
Because at this time you're kind of concerned for your safety.
100%, right? I am at one point. One guy punches me in the face.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and in this conversation while they were talking, these guys were telling me, we're gonna knock your glasses out. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. I got punched in the face. I moved back a little bit right after, and because I was still neutral. I did not want to start anything. I just remember at one point that these like everything else was kind of a blur at that point. After that, it was kind of a blur.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, okay, what do I do, right? It's me against 6 guys. I can't
Yeah.
do nothing about it. Like, these guys were getting aggressive. I remember, like, you know, like one of the guys was coming towards me, but then like security just kind of like, no, go. At one point, a couple of people were like, hey, let's, you know, let it go. Rush gave you the money. Let this go. Whatever. These guys left. They flipped my, like, they threw my equipment.
ਅੱਛਾ
right?
ਸੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ equipment ਹੈ ਉਹਦਾ ਵੀ ਨੁਕਸਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ
Yep, they threw my equipment, right? Thank God, like, you know, thank God, like, you know, I've got a couple things that are still okay.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, they flipped my equipment. And then right after that, like, they walked outside and security goes outside. Well, like, outside, like, just in the main area, in the
Right.
lobby. And he looks at me and he's like, these guys called 3 other cars to come inside.
oh wow
Right?
Okay.
Like, these guys called 3 other vehicles, get out of here right now.
Oh.
I told the security guard, like, I'm not leaving this venue. I was like, lock the doors. I was like, in this situation, I feel like the security should have called the police.
yeah
And
that was going to be my next question so ਹਾਲੇ ਤੱਕ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ
No, there's
even
no.
after you've been assaulted
Yeah.
the equipment ਵੀ security ਨੇ police
I wanted to call the police, but in that moment, I was so vulnerable that I just felt that if I take my phone out, like, they're gonna just take it.
so ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਡਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕੀਤਾ
I couldn't. Right? I'm like, the security guards there. There was like 10 people or something standing around. Somebody could have called the cops.
yeah somebody should have called
Somebody
the cops.
should have called the cops.
Yeah.
100%.
Agreed.
Right? So all I hear from this guy is that three cars are outside. You need to leave the premises. I told him, no. What are we gonna do? I end up calling the cops. When the cops get called, then security went outside and he told these guys, get out. This guy called the cops.
oh okay
Which is
Yeah.
right, and I'm gonna say everything as it is, right? And yeah, like when that happened, literally, they left. They literally left the venue, and like in my video, I did not explain all of this because my video was mainly to be, and even this interview, it's an awareness interview.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, like even in that video, like I didn't say that part because I just felt like I didn't need to. But like the reality is, that's actually what happened.
wow
Like
so security ਨੇ ਕੁਝ ਕੀਤਾ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ ਇੰਟਰਵੀਨ
No,
ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ
no.
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਫੋਨ ਕੀਤਾ
Nope.
ਫਿਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਕਿ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚੱਲ ਜਾਓ
yeah.
okay
That's basically yeah. And the thing is, I will say it straight up, like how I felt that night was actually one of the scariest moments of my life. Because I'll tell you straight up, us Punjabis, you know, we come from good families. You know, we're raised well. Even my family, like we come from good families. You
ਸਿੱਖ
know,
ਮਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਰਿਸਪੈਕਟ ਬਾਰੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ
exactly.
ਜਾਂਦਾ
Like I'm here to do my job, go inside and leave. That's it.
Yeah.
Illegal, right? I'm not here to argue with anybody. I'm not here to be aggressive with anybody, right? But it's just like the fact that like nowadays what's happening is people are getting so aggressive over a song request. I find that absurd.
you know and it's a song ਸਿਰਫ ਗਾਣਾ ਆ
Yeah.
ਗਾਣੇ ਦੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੜਾਈ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ
Yeah.
ਉੱਥੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਫਿਰ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਰਿੱਕੀ ਫਿਰ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ
Well, police takes my statement. Or a statement of Tia, right? And in the moment, obviously, he's like, "What do you want to do?" I told him, "What can we do?" The cops basically the cop literally told me, he's like we can go press charges, but the reality is that they're not gonna do nothing about it. That's what the cop straight up told me.
ਸੋ ਉਹਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੂੰਹ ਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਤੀ
Yeah.
ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਚਾਰजेस ਪ੍ਰੈਸ ਜੇ ਕੀਤੇ ਹੋਣਾ ਤਾਂ
Yeah.
ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ
Yeah, he's like any normal ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਇੱਥੇ, right? I was like, there's no point.
that is
Right?
crazy that's
Yeah.
absurd ਕਿ
That's why,
ਇਹ
like-
ਮੂੰਹੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਆਫੀਸਰ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਆ ਚੀਜ਼ ਇੰਨੀ ਕਾਮਨ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਇੰਨੀ ਆਮ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੇ
Exactly, right? So that's why the gentleman video banaiya, right? That video it's true. It doesn't just happen here. It just happens everywhere. It's not just for me. Like I've had more instances like that in the past, you know, like this year alone, and other DJs have had issues like that too, where our job is not, and this is not even just DJs, this is wedding vendors, decorators, everybody,
Right.
photographers, right?
yeah
We come and do one job. We're not up, like, I get it if a DJ is being aggressive. And you know, there's two ends of the stick, you know? Like I get it if a DJ is being aggressive, right?
Or disrespectful.
Yeah,
फिर अगले ਨੂੰ भी गुस्सा आ ਜਾਂਦਾ है.
I
Yes.
get that part, you know what I mean? But ek cheez hai, like when it comes to song requests, there's a way to ask. And then when it comes to anything, for example, there's a way to ask, right? You don't come in and be like, hey, if you don't play my song, I'm going to do this.
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਬੰਦਾ Song request ਕਰਿਆ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ 10-15 ਲਾਈਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ Song request ਹੈਗੇ so you can't get to it right away.
No, you can't.
And ਉੱਤੋਂ ਦੀ ਗਾਣੇ ਉੱਚੇ ਲੱਗੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਸੁਣਦਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ right so ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ communication ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਔਖੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ
Exactly. Like it's like you can't like go into doing a hip hop set or like say a house set as a DJ. You're not going to go do a house set and then all of a sudden this uncle is going to be like, oh yeah, like I'm going to do this to you if you don't play Jat Moja, for example.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like you can't. It's and people don't understand that part,
They don't
right?
understand
Like,
that, yeah.
but see,
ਸੋ ਅੱਗੇ ਕਦੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਦ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗਏ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਇਹ ਅਸੌਲਟ ਹੋਈ ਆ
ਤੇ ਬੜਾ ਕੀ ਆ ਜਿਸ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ assault ਹੋਈ ਆ usually ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ like whatever somebody's being aggressive we turn the music low and we don't even say a word. Sometimes we have to call out whoever is being aggressive on the mic. I've had instances where like I had people like, and this was this year. It was only this year. I've had people actually get physically aggressive with me where I had to be like, no, don't do that. Don't be that guy. Otherwise, I'm gonna call you out on the mic, and you are gonna get out of here. You're right. And
ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੇ 뮤직 ਲੋ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਅਨਾਉਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੈ ਨਾ
exactly because we don't like, and I'm not the only one that does this. There's a lot of DJs that do this because we're in here for one thing to make people happy, and us DJs, I'm gonna tell you straight up. We're not in here to do a bad job. There's 100%. A lot of DJs that
you're there to entertain. You're there to make it a great environment, atmosphere ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ
exactly
right yeah
exactly
so you're there to entertain and that's what you do. You're hired to play music
exactly
but you're not really trained to handle these situations because ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਲਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ you know ਤੁਸੀਂ music ਕਿਵੇਂ play ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ dance floor ਕਿਵੇਂ full ਰੱਖਣੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਸੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ dance floor was full that night so it was a bumping party. It was happening. Tell me more about you know the clients that hired you. What's the follow-up been with them? Have they been in touch? You know, were you in touch with them? What's that situation?
I tried being in touch with them, but they haven't gone back to me. That's the reality. So
wow, they haven't reached out to you at all.
Nope.
Okay, so it's been literally 2 weeks now.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. They haven't gone back to me. So
wow.
But to be honest, like at this point, I'm just like that's why, like you know, at this point, I'm just like, what can you do? Because the video's out and right like
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੁਭਾਅ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸੋ ਰਿਕੀ are you normally you know a lay you know down to earth type of person ਜਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ aggressive ਹੈਗੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਕਦੀ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਆ
so okay I'm going to tell you straight up I'm very laid back. Okay. It's really hard to piss me off. Like I'll say that it's really jab gussa hai na ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਾਣੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ that it's really hard to upset me. It's really hard to because like I know how to handle situations. Like like you know maybe when we were younger obviously you know we all had gussa, right? But like if you're in the industry, especially for the years that I've been in the industry, like you know you just have to learn how to control that. You know, like I don't get mad. We get annoyed. Like it's not just me. I say this for everybody. Like we get annoyed. Don't get me wrong, but like we just know how to handle the situation, right?
So what do you think makes other people aggressive? ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੋਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ
alcohol.
Alcohol. Daru.
Alcohol. That's the best way to say it. A lot of people, and I'll say this, I'll say it as how it is. Like even the people from India, like you know, it's an open bar, right? I'm not saying open bar is not a bad thing. It's a good thing, but people this year alone just don't know how to handle their liquor. That's the one thing, and I'll say it. Like this is why even in Calgary, nobody wants to do an Indian night because people don't know how to handle their liquor. It's true.
Another point. Why don't people want to do those nights? Right?
Yeah, like
because Clara penda hai.
Like even like I'll tell you, like you and Diljit wanted to do an after party out there. All the venues said no. We don't want to deal with brown people or Punjabis, and it's true because you like Punjabis get aggressive, and it's not like it's and what I find like crazy is that it's not just like, it's not any other culture. It's just Punjabi people.
It's just ਇਹ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਕਲੰਕ ਲੱਗਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਪੀ ਕੇ ਖਲਾਰਾ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੈਨਿਊਜ਼ ਵੀ ਆ ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਰੇਟ ਕੀਤੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕੋਈ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ
Exactly, right? So, and my always I'm like, when something big happens, for example, right? Like, everybody gets together and, everybody gets together and, we all stand. Yes, us Punjabis stand together. But when it comes to, like song requests, you guys are ready to shoot the guy. Like, I don't understand.
ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੱਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ ਫਿਰ ਤਾਂ ਬੰਦਾ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੋਲੀ ਮਾਰਨੀ ਪਰ ਇੱਕ ਗਾਣੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੋਲੀ ਮਾਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਤਿਆਰ ਹੋਇਆ like that's just it's just absurd.
It's absurd.
And it's devastating actually because ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਣਾਈ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸਿਸਟਰ ਨੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਪੋਸਟ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦੱਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਗੈਰ ਸੋ ਇੱਕ ਕਿਸਮ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿ obviously you're a male you've been in this industry ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ 10 ਸਾਲ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਇਸ ਇੰਡਸਟਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਪੋਸਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਤੇ ਇਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਹੋ ਸਕੇ ਕੀ ਰਿਸਪੌਂਸ ਹੈ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you. From what I know from everybody, right? Like everybody deals with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the only one. Sare jane hon jehdi industry ch hege ya, so DJs, everybody around the world, right? Deals with it all the time, right? And this what's the name? This video that I posted, I don't think it actually affected my business. I feel like it actually just raised awareness. Like if you think about it, like when I posted that video. Look at how many people reached out.
Yes.
Like Jazzy B's manager reached out to me. Like Amar Sandhu reached out. Mickey Singh's DJ reached out. Like there's so many, even like all the guys from the UK, DJ Dips, everybody, like they all reached out and they were like, this is an actual problem. Nobody spoke up about it. And I'm going to say it. I'm the only DJ that actually spoke up about this
Kudos
issue.
to you on that.
Yeah, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm like the video hit like 186 or 187K.
And it's still going up.
And it's still going crazy. And the thing is, it's like this video got released like it's been 2 days. And this is an actual problem. Like the amount of phone calls I've got from other DJs from like all around the world, they were like just telling me it's so crazy in other states. Like.
And it's important to have this dialogue because we need to create those safe spaces for anyone in any industry really, but DJs of course. What would changes and just in quick here would you like to see that you think immediately could help with safety? Because you're being paid for your services. That doesn't mean you're owned, right? And you deserve the same respect as anybody else does.
Exactly. Well, one thing I would say is that, man, everybody out here needs to implement safety measures. That means that, even as DJs, if we're going up, like, so I'm one of the managers for Lucid Entertainment in BC, right? And me and my buddy Diablo were talking about this, and we were like, we have to hire security or something going forward. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. It's like for Punjabi receptions alone. Something needs to happen. Something needs to change. Whether it's barriers or whether it's like we charge more and we hire security for that reason, or we make clients pay for that. Because at the end of the day, Punjabi receptions have become a liability issue. That's the problem. It's like people people are ready to just it's not India here. That's the reality. It's not India here. Even in India they don't do that.
Exactly.
So that's the one thing I would say is that everybody every vendor in the community, we should get together obviously, and we just need to change things up. Just and I'm very happy that I started that change. It's the awareness is going crazy. So like I said, everybody in the industry just get together and just change everything up.
These dialogues need to be had, and open dialogue is very, very important. Kudos to you and to your sister as well. The person behind making this viral and
I will say this.
putting the awareness.
Sorry to cut you off, but dude, if it wasn't because of my sister, I'll say this straight up. If it wasn't because of my sister, I wouldn't have posted that video. She actually raised the awareness, and she my parents were devastated, man. Like when they were calling me, they were crying. Even that night, I was scared that I wasn't gonna make it home. So and that thought shouldn't be in anybody's head.
Shouldn't be. And we're glad you're here to share it with us today.
Thank you.
You know, we'll follow up with you in the coming weeks. We did reach out to the Richmond RCMP. We haven't heard back as to any update yet, which, you know, was expected on your end. So, you know, that was the update there. Again, thank you so much. We're glad that you were here. Thank you for shining light. You know, abuse is not acceptable in any work environment. And thank you, and please keep us posted.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. ਸੋ ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜਾਗਰੂਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੰਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਯੂ ਨੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਪੈਸੇ ਖਰਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇੱਕ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ এনवायरमेंट ਆਪਾਂ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਸਾਡੇ ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਐਂਡ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਆਏ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਧਿਆਨ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਕਰੋ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਅਕਸਰ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਕੀ ਦਾ, ਜਿਹਨੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਆਇਆ। ਸੋ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਦਿਸ ਇੰਟਰਵਿਊ, ਲੈਟਸ ਓਪਨ ਅਪ ਦ ਸਪੇਸ ਫॉर ਮੋਰ ਡਾਇਲੋਗ। ਸੇਫਟੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਹਰੇਕ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਫੇਰ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੇ ਇੱਕ ਨਵਾਂ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਲੈ ਕੇ। ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਦਿਓ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੁਖੀ ਨੂੰ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।